Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. You know how it is as we get closer to the new year, we start to think about all that's happened, all the highs, the lows, the in-betweens. Well, we found just the thing to help you really unpack it all this time.
Yeah.
Clara Penrose's blog post, 50 end-of-year journal prompts, over at Le Stallion.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, it's from back in May. But you know what? It's never too early to start thinking about these things, and we're going to dive deep into those prompts together today.
Perfect timing to, reflect on the year and set some intentions for the next one.
Totally. And Penrose really hits on that, looking back to see where we've been,
Yeah.
but also using that to kind of launch ourselves forward. So are you ready to jump into some of these juicy prompts with me?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first section is all about reflecting on achievements. Love this because, we don't always take the time to celebrate our wins. And Penrose really encourages us to do just that. Right off the bat, she asks for your 3 most significant accomplishments of the year. And here's the key, why they matter to you.
I like that twist because it's not just about listing things off, it's about understanding the why behind them.
Exactly. It's like those achievements become these little signposts pointing you towards what truly motivates you, what gets you fired up.
Yeah, it's like a mirror reflecting back your values and passions.
Okay, so this next prompt is one that really resonates with me personally. Think about a time you stepped out of your comfort zone. What did you learn? Remember that time you mentioned a specific example drawn from listeners' personal material? That took guts.
Stepping outside that comfort zone is huge.
I know it can be nerve-wracking, but I bet you learned a ton about yourself in the process.
Absolutely. And it's not just about trying new things. It's about building resilience. Each time you push past those boundaries, you're proving to yourself that you can handle discomfort. You know that you can adapt and grow.
It's like giving your brain a workout,
Yeah,
making it more flexible and resourceful.
exactly. And that is a superpower in today's world, let me tell you. It's so true because, let's face it, life isn't always about celebrating wins. There are bumps in the road challenges we all face. And Penrose doesn't shy away from that in her next section, learning from challenges.
Ooh, getting into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, this is where we get real. One prompt that stood out to me is, what was the biggest challenge you faced this year and how did you handle it?
It's so easy to just focus on the negative when things get tough, but
Yeah.
what I love about this prompt is that it pushes you to look at how you dealt with it.
Yeah, and how you maybe even learn from it.
Exactly, because there's always a lesson hidden in those challenges.
Sometimes it's just hard to see it when you're in the thick of it.
For sure. But looking back, can you spot that lesson? What
Yeah.
did this experience teach you about yourself? About your strengths, your weaknesses, your ability to bounce back?
Such a good point. I mean, think about a time when things didn't go as planned. Maybe when you refer to a specific challenge from the listener's material, it probably felt frustrating at the time. But now looking back, did you discover a new way to approach things? Did you learn to be more adaptable? That's what it's all about. Those unexpected detours often force us to be more creative, more resourceful.
It's like life throws you a curveball and you realize, hey, I can actually hit this out of the park.
And that's how you build a growth mindset, that belief that you can learn and evolve even through tough times. And those detours, they don't always have to be bad. Sometimes they lead us to some pretty incredible memories. It's like life saying, hey, I know this isn't what you planned, but look what you discovered instead.
It's so true, like a happy little accident. Which brings us perfectly to Penrose's next set of prompts, celebrating memories. She really encourages us to savor those good times. Like one prompt asks about your happiest memory of the year and what made it so special.
It's so important to pause and appreciate those moments because they really do make life sparkle.
Yeah, sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day that we forget to do that.
Totally. And think about it when you recall a happy memory. You're not just remembering the event itself, you're re-experiencing all those emotions that came with it.
It's like a little boost of happiness on demand.
Exactly, that rush of joy, that feeling of connection, it all comes flooding back.
And those positive emotions, they have a ripple effect, don't they? They influence our mood, our energy levels, even our well-being.
It's like a mental vacation.
I love that. And speaking of adventures, Penrose also has a prompt about fun or unexpected adventure you had this year. I'm thinking back to when mention a specific adventure from listeners' material. Now that brings a smile to my face.
Makes me think of mentioning an example.
And it doesn't have to be some grand expedition to be memorable, right?
Right. It's not about the scale. It's about the shift in perspective.
Right.
Even something small that injects a little novelty into your day.
Just shaking things up a bit.
Exactly. And those little detours can have a surprisingly profound impact. They remind us to embrace spontaneity, to be open to new possibilities.
To appreciate the beauty of the unexpected.
I like that, the beauty of the unexpected.
Okay, now get ready to go even deeper, because we're moving into personal growth and self-reflection. Penrose asks, how have you changed or grown as a person this year? Such a powerful question.
It is, because it's so easy to keep moving forward without really acknowledging how far we've come.
We don't always stop to smell the roses.
Yeah, and it's like pausing to admire the view after a challenging climb. You've put in the effort, you've faced obstacles, you've learned and adapted along the way.
And by recognizing that growth, it's not just about patting yourself on the back. It's about gaining a deeper understanding of your strengths and weaknesses.
So true that self-awareness is essential for making conscious choices. Choices that align with our values and aspirations.
It's like taking inventory of your internal toolkit, making sure you have the right tools for the journey ahead. And there's another prompt in this section that I find really intriguing. What new perspectives or beliefs did you develop this year? How have they influenced your actions and decisions?
Because our beliefs, they shape so much of our reality, it's incredible how they evolve over time.
It really is. I mean, think about it.
It's a testament to the amazing plasticity of the human brain. We're constantly taking in new information, encountering new viewpoints.
And reevaluating our understanding of the world.
Exactly, and sometimes those shifts in perspective can be subtle, like a gradual opening to new ideas.
A softening of those rigid beliefs we sometimes hold on to.
But other times, it can feel like a seismic shift, completely changing the landscape of our thinking.
Wow, that's a great way to put it. Okay, so speaking of change, let's shift our focus to the future. Arguably the most exciting part. Penrose dedicates an entire section to looking ahead to the future.
I like where this is going.
Me too, and she doesn't disappoint with the prompts. First up, she asks for your top 3 goals for the next year. But here's the key. How do you plan to achieve them?
So it's not enough to just dream big, we need a roadmap.
Exactly. Gotta have a plan.
Think of your goals as destinations on a map. You need to know where you're headed, but you also need to plot your course.
Identify those potential obstacles. Pack the necessary supplies.
By outlining your plan, you're not just increasing your chances of success, you're also strengthening your commitment to those goals.
Like you're saying, I'm serious about this and I'm willing to put in the work. Okay, so now to really ignite those dreams, Penrose encourages us to think about our dreams and aspirations. No limits here.
This is where we let our imaginations run wild.
Exactly, envisioning the life we truly desire.
It's about connecting with our deepest desires, those things that light us up from the inside out.
And those dreams might seem daunting at first.
But remember, every journey begins with a single step.
Breaking those big aspirations down into smaller, actionable steps.
That's how we create a pathway towards those seemingly impossible dreams.
Love that. And speaking of pathways, Penrose also prompts us to consider, what new skills or knowledge do you want to acquire next year? How will they benefit you?
It's about investing in our future selves, equipping ourselves with the tools and knowledge to navigate the path ahead.
It's like leveling up in the game of life.
I like that analogy.
Right, because we're constantly evolving, facing new challenges.
And pursuing new opportunities.
By actively seeking out new skills and knowledge.
We're expanding our capacity to adapt, to innovate.
To create the life we desire.
It's a lifelong journey of learning and growth.
And it's not all about solo missions either. Penrose reminds us to think about the relationships we want to nurture or develop.
Ah, yes. Because humans are social creatures. We thrive on connection.
Whether it's with family, friends, romantic partners, colleagues, those bonds, they bring so much richness and meaning to our lives.
It's about investing in the connections that bring us joy, support, a sense of belonging.
Deepening existing relationships or even cultivating new ones.
Nurturing those social connections is essential for a fulfilling life.
It's like building a network of support, a tribe of people who inspire us.
Who challenge us and celebrate our journey. It's like building your own personal board of directors.
I like that. And you know what else really resonated with me in this section? It's the last prompt Penrose asks. How will you prioritize self-care and well-being in the coming year? What practices will you incorporate into your routine?
Ah, yes, self-care.
It's so easy to let that slip when things get busy, but it's so important.
Absolutely crucial for our mental, emotional, and physical health.
We got to take care of ourselves.
It's like making sure your car has enough fuel.
Yeah.
And, gets regular maintenance.
You wouldn't expect it to run smoothly without taking care of it, right?
Right. So why do we expect our minds and bodies to just keep going without giving them the same level of care and attention?
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
No, just find small ways to nourish yourself, whether it's exercise, spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or even just taking a few minutes each day to disconnect and recharge.
I love that just hit the reset button. So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 50 end-of-year journal prompts, what's resonating with you the most right now?
That's a good question. I think what's really fascinating is that each prompt acts like a different lens, offering a unique perspective on your experiences.
It's like holding up a mirror to different parts of your year.
Have you discovered a connection between a past achievement and a future goal? Or maybe a challenge you faced has sparked a desire to learn a new skill?
Yeah, it's not just about answering the prompts in isolation. It's about the connections you make between them, the insights that emerge as you reflect on the year as a whole,
It's like piecing together a puzzle.
revealing a clearer picture of who you are, where you've been, and where you want to go.
And remember, these prompts are just the starting point. Let your curiosity lead the way. Explore different angles and see where your thoughts take you.
That's the beauty of journaling, isn't it?
The real magic happens when you allow yourself to be surprised by what comes up.
So grab your journal a cozy spot and dive into these prompts. Who knows, you might just uncover some hidden gems about yourself and emerge with a renewed sense of purpose as you step into the new year.
Happy writing, everyone!
And happy reflecting.